At some point between July the 12th and 20th this year, Dodi Al-Fayed quietly joined Diana aboard his family's luxury yacht at Saint-Tropez and began one of the love affairs of the century.
What is interesting, in the whole of the coverage, the saturation coverage, the very unwelcome coverage that attended that holiday, nobody ever spoke about Dodi. He was never mentioned.
Diana and Dodi were an item. It was a well-kept secret. But Mohamed Al-Fayed knew that the story would eventually get out and determined to try and manage the news.
Mohamed phoned me up, asked me if I'd be prepared to have a word with Dodi and to keep an eye on him. I asked why, and he said, well, because there's a few things going on which are going to be capturing the public imagination worldwide concerning Dodi and Diana.
The day after getting back from Saint-Tropez, July the 21st, Diana opened a new children's ward at a hospital in northwest London. Her romance was still a secret, and plans were being hatched for a second holiday, this time alone with Dodi and out of sight of the cameras.
They went away for a weekend to Paris at the Ritz Hotel, which nobody knew about. And then they went away on the yacht Jonicle. And they were actually back in this country on the Wednesday. And we were holding our thumbs and crossing our fingers and hoping that the press would never know about this.
And then word got out that there were this set of pictures. And her reaction was very interesting. She was, to quote her office, very relaxed about the publication of the pictures. That is Diana speak, for she was very happy about it.
I said to Dodi, what about this stuff? Allegedly there's a shot of a kiss. I actually said to him, did you kiss Diana in public? And he said, no, Michael. He said, we were at sea, moving. He said, I think we hugged each other in a sort of friendly sort of way. And I said, well, that's enough. There were people on boats. There were people stalking you. There were people there.
My advice to him was, well, you know what's coming. It won't cause any problems. The British public in particular will be very happy if she's got involved with a man who they can see to be kind and caring and someone that genuinely loves her for the right reasons.
Parts of the British establishment were not going to be pleased.
No, but then the British establishment, who cares?
Diana and Dodi didn't seem to mind that their love affair was now public property. Mohamed Al-Fayed seemed positively pleased. Prince Charles was apparently content. But as the British public got their first glimpse of the kiss, the Queen's biographer Sarah Bradford wrote, "You can't help regretting that this beautiful woman has chosen someone so trivial." 2 days before the kiss photograph was finally published, Diana had left the country. Not a holiday this time. On August the 8th, she flew to Sarajevo in Bosnia, with Lord Deeds acting as her defense against the paparazzi. Diana's answer to the press siege was to try and use it to further her landmines crusade. She took the hundreds of journalists and photographers who'd followed her to Bosnia up to Sarajevo's rubbish dump, the poorest part of a city horribly disfigured by war. This is home to 15-year-old Mirzeta Gabeljic, who lost part of her leg when she stepped on a landmine as she walked to market.
When you finally met Diana, was she like you expected her to be?
I thought that princess will come in a very nice long dress, as any other princess. She came in trousers, and then I realized this is a totally new world. This is not the first century.
This
is Robert from Jesuit representative Mirzeta.
When we were in Bosnia, she would never allow any interview to take place in less than 30 minutes, because she knew how long people who've suffered take to tell their story.
Will you say, is she going to speak at all, or is she want these to go?
She had this marvelously natural way of getting people who'd suffered to open up and tell her all about their suffering, and it did them, you could see it did them good. Magic. Magic. After that awful war. Somebody said to her, they supposed that she got used to being photographed all the time. And I remember her reply, which was, no, you don't. That's the real trouble, that you don't get used to it. I was alongside all the time and felt the impact of these sudden encounters with 5 cameras, rolling cameras, 50 ordinary cameras, and maybe 20 reporters with notebooks. If you suddenly hit the buffers like that, it is alarming.
The never-ending criticism of her public and private life, combined with the constant press presence, had settled one thing in Diana's mind. She had to escape.
She said, well, you know how the press is here? The press is ferocious. It's always looking for the tiny mistake I'm going to do, and everybody can make a mistake. At that moment, she said, you know, everybody sane would have left this country a long time ago. But I can't. I have my sons.
Now, there were these rumours about her leaving the country. What was the truth about that?
Determined to make a home away and just come here to be with the children and so on. This was quite, she was very serious about that. The reason was, there was no other reason except for the media hounding her.
It wasn't just Diana who was under attack. Just as Mohamed Al-Fayed had anticipated, the press were dismantling Dodi's reputation, alleging that he had debts, that he dated and dumped a string of glamorous girlfriends, and had a serious cocaine habit.
We talked and he told me about previous girlfriends, and I said, well, okay, there's bound to be 2 or 3 of them that are going to come out because they're suddenly going to see an opportunity to make a name for themselves, to make a lot of money for themselves. So don't be surprised. And that's, of course, exactly what happened.
In Los Angeles, right on cue, up popped the tragic ex-girlfriend, one Kelly Fisher.
Miss Fisher is willing to meet with the princess anywhere in the world. We think the princess should know what has happened with Miss Fisher and how she and her family have suffered and are still suffering.
My attitude and my advice to him was, well, just let it run its course, because I don't think it's going to be too difficult for the public to see the young lady for what she really is. Her television appearances with the lawyer and mum, almost, you know, crying on cue. I think most of the public pretty much got the flavour of what she was all about.
Despite Max Clifford's best efforts, the story of the princess and the playboy was gaining momentum. With the paparazzi in full cry, on July the 21st, Diana and Dodi headed off for their 3rd and final holiday aboard the Al-Fayed yacht.
They were on their last holiday together on Jonical. The boat put into Monte Carlo, and they went ashore. It was in the evening, and they went to a shop of the company REPOSSI, and they looked at 2 rings.
She saw on window, and she want this. So we prepare the delivery. I adapt a lot of our models on the character of the client. With Princess Diana was not so difficult.
It was a ring that she could have worn all the time?
Yes, of course.
A diamond ring called Tell Me Yes, an Egyptian playboy, a Muslim to boot, the mother of the future king. The combination sent shivers down a few spines.
I'm a particularly conservative. I like to think that the future King of England at least starts off the job without a blemish, and I don't think he could have done with Dodi as the stepfather.
I just thought it was hilarious. Hilarious. The idea of them all sitting there at various castles and palaces having to accept the fact that, you know, one day Diana might marry Dodi Fayed. Just too amusing for words and great payback. But if you ask me if it was deliberate, I think definitely not.
But she just didn't care about their reaction. In a way, that showed a new confidence.
I was just told she was just in love with him. Just fell madly in love with this guy.
I said, till I start saving up for a wedding present. So when it's a big day? She said, no, there's no wedding. Definitely no wedding, but I'm having a lot of fun, enjoying myself. She said, I want you to meet Dodi, and perhaps we can have dinner together. And on the 9th, tentatively fixed 9th of September, which was a Tuesday week. She said, I'll confirm it to you on Sunday when I get back. I said, I know one girl who was ex-girlfriend. Shall I call her? She said, yes, yes, do that. As a surprise. So I asked this lady, and she had agreed to come as well as a surprise to him. So it was tentatively fixed, as I said, 9th of September. It never happened.